What is going on, guys? DBG here. In this video we are going to be doing a breakdown of our performance in the 250K tournament yesterday. So it was a little bit of a crazy one. Like, some dude literally on Xbox cheated and qualified, which is the most annoying thing ever. Like, Zen Masters everywhere, lads. Zen Masters everywhere. That's all I'm gonna say. So if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We're trying to hit 220,000 subscribers as soon as possible. So if you guys are new to the channel and enjoy my team content, subscribe. It would be greatly appreciated. Because obviously this video was 4 hours of recording and quite a bit of editing, and then we're just gonna go over the breakdown of it right now. So yeah, pretty much the team we ran with is this team right here. I'm probably gonna sell most of the players, not gonna lie, but this is the team I ran. I got John Stockton, Darren Williams, Clay Thompson, Glenn Robinson, and Draymond Green. Off the bench, we had Monte Ellis. We had the less than 3K MT, Nick Anderson. He's a god. He's a god. He is so good. Then Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce didn't do much. You know what? Dia was alright. Garnett was awful. Even though only 8 of the games registered, Kevin Garnett averaging 5.1 points per game. It just was not it. One player that I really struggled with was Monte Ellis. He's a god on next gen, so I'm going to keep him. But like, only 10 points a game. I know I didn't play him that much, but I played him way more than 6 minutes a game. I must have only put him on for a very little amount. Okay, he must not have registered the games where I got quits, because he struggled big time for me. He struggled. So in this video, we're going to be going over most of the games. There is one game that cut out. I've missed most of the first game because very little of that, or I forgot to hit record at the start, and then one random game in the middle cut out. The annoying thing was the game in the middle was against a dude who literally was stalling. He called every one of his timeouts before the 4th quarter and wasted the entire timer and wasted the entire pause timer. And that was kind of a theme with this. I didn't get stalled too many times. I just had people that weren't going to quit the games. And I will say this. If somebody is intentionally taking every timeout, waiting the full minute on every single timeout, and pausing the game, waiting the entire time when they're going to lose, fair enough, be annoyed. But man, just because I've seen situations where there was people that were getting close to the top 4 and they lost, and they were complaining that other people weren't giving them free wins because the other people had no chance of qualifying. No, there should not be free wins. But anyway, now we're going to go on to it. Although stalling just shows how flawed the system is, the fact that you can literally screw someone over by stalling. Thankfully, it seems like a lot of really elite players Splash qualified, Ty qualified, thankfully. Guys like Jin and Ramo got error coded more so than it was for them not getting stalled for their qualification. And also, there was another Spanish guy that qualified, another European. So it's good to see we have 2. We did not have any last year. There are 2 Europeans that qualified this year. So let's start off. This was game 1. This was against a really weak team, and I started off terribly. Like, to say I started off terribly was not the same. I think I had a big enough lead, and then he started coming back. When I realized that he was not going to give up, I was like, you know what, I'm going to switch off. Then I completely forgot. I'm like, I need to win this game by as much as possible. So, starting off, getting into Nick Anderson in the corner. Once he got into his hot zone, he hits the shot. And then from here on out, I blitzed this guy. I absolutely blitzed him. Nick Anderson in another hot zone right there. Greening the 3-pointer. 22-point lead. Like, we got into a big lead. I struggled in man. I tried to press him. The guy was decent enough beating the press, but he really struggled to get by the zone, which is where I got quite a bit of a lead from. But yeah, I realized after this anyway that that's a horrendous release. Oh, by the way, the delay was grim. I was shooting based on vibration. It was like playing on some of the worst delay I've played on all year, which is annoying because they've like separate servers just for the game mode. Like, at the end of the day, I was never going to lose to this guy. I just really, the reason why I was nowhere near up the top was because I just couldn't blow out people. I could not force enough rage quits. I could not force enough rage quits quick enough. And again, that is always going to be a problem when you're doing things like this. It's always going to be a problem with their qualifying system. It's not about who can win the most games. It's literally about who can beat people as quickly as possible by as much as possible. And you can see here, like, I have so many opportunities, and I just decided to pass out so many layups because I'm looking to get 3-pointers to put up as many points as possible. A highly flawed system. I wish they could make it a little bit like FIFA, where they could base it off a weekend league, and then, I don't know, after a bunch of weekend leagues playing 30 games a weekend. Then there's like qualification points, things like that to qualify. Something like that would have to be better in this system. A 4-hour thing, tournament once every 6 weeks, where it is pure luck. Like, yes, Ty qualified, Splash qualified, but it was by no means the best 4 players on each system. But we got an easy win right there. 233 points. I kind of needed around 233 in every game that was going the full distance, and I just struggled with that. So this guy right here, I blitzed him to start the game. Like, I absolutely blitzed him. This was the best I started off a game, because I kind of came into the last game towards the end of it, and this was definitely the best that I started off in any of my games. His team was okay. I'm never worried about Giannis, by the way. He's like one of the players I'm least worried about, and I Sam won there. We ended the first quarter quite well. I was trying to get a quit so quickly. A quit here would have been lovely, but he didn't, and it was one of those games, like, it was going between like 20 and 11, and then maybe sometimes he'd bring it back to 8-10. But I had a massive lead this entire game. There was no stage really where it wasn't unbelievably comfortable for me. So this was a quite easy win to start off the day. And we actually, we're not doing great 82nd. Then we play against Blake Griffin, Grant Hill. The dude has got Patrick Ewing on the bench as well. So I'm worried. I am worried. And like, if you guys were in my stream, this was one of those games where it was just, I just got angry early because I've made it clear that I don't like playing this game. I've made it clear I do not, like, I don't mind next gen. I really don't, but it's been very clear that I despise. I don't even mind 3v3. TTO is fun. I like TTO. I'm saying it right now. I like playing TTO even on current gen. But my God, there's nothing I hate more than playing next gen and playing 5v5. But a decent start to this game, going 6-0, but we just struggled. I just really struggled. And it was just, a lot of it was my own doing. And I was just getting a few bad bounces, and it affected me badly. Like, I was playing angry. And if you know anything about 2K, it's one thing I will always say through the years, and that if you play angry, you don't stand a chance. And it's a lot easier to not get angry, to say that, than it is to actually not get angry in a game. So, like, right here, we are down 8 points here in the second quarter. And at this stage, I'm just like, you know what? If this guy pulls out the 15, I'm going to take the rage quit. Because I know for a fact if I go up 15 against someone, I would like them to rage quit against me. And that's what I said completely. If at any stage I went down by 15, I was going to quit for them. Thankfully, it didn't happen. But the dude tried to speed glitch me, Tyreek Evans, and he hop stepped me with Blake. That's just good offense. That is just really good offense. A big steal there by Boris Diaw. We get it out to Monte Ellis. Gets a big dunk. I got a bit of momentum going into the half, thankfully. And then they throw the ball right into Nick Anderson's hands. He was so good. He was so good for me. There's no doubt about it. I'm not going to say he was the best player or anything, but he was so nice. And we get it right back to Paul Pierce there, who hits the shot that should have been more than 4%. So funnily enough, going into the fourth, we were actually down. I make a horrendous defensive play right there. We just get bailed out of it. Ewing comes against the board, and he goes and shoots the midi and clanks it. He clanked it with Jaylen Brown. That was a massive play right there. We managed to get it into the corner, and we straight arm. Down 4, 3 minutes to go. We straight arm, but we got a steal right there with John Stockton. And for the first time in the game bails me. It gives me a clear path off the steal. And you know what? I got a meter on. I am not missing free throws right here. I'm not missing free throws. We bring it back to a 2-point game. At this stage, I'm like, you know what? Surely the game is bailing me. Surely the game had been bailing him the whole time. Surely been bailing me. I actually should have taken a shot right there, looking back on it in hindsight. And his D-Will moonwalks out of the way. And we get another steal from Glenn Robinson, who hits Clay with greens. I take one of the dumbest shots with Clay because of a delayed catch. But to be fair, though, I did not deserve to hit that shot because the only reason I was open was because his player decided to moonwalk. I then decide, you know what? I get a bit of a lead. I get momentum. I'm making this dude beat me with Diaw. I don't care what he did. He was beating me with Boris Diaw. There was no question about that. Like, if he beat me with Diaw, I said it on stream, I was perfectly fine with it. I didn't take a dumb layup there with D-Will. Probably should have went with a stick there. He might have gotten a better animation, but look, that happens. Small player going for a layup. And again, he is dead set on going with Dio, which is one thing I like, because he knew that I was playing to try stop Dio, or try just make him shoot with Dio, and he was playing right into my hands. He takes a dumb layup there with D-Will and manages to put it in. Okay, so I'm up 3 with the ball, 50 seconds to go. So at this stage in the game, like, look, that's a very, very lucky one there. He nearly baited the pass. As we get back to Stockton, it's an easy dunk. 3 points. The game's about to end. I'm taking a shot. I shoot way too early, by the way. I should have waited until the last second to shoot that, because he could have had a timeout there. But we got a massive rebound, Draymond Green. I bet on myself taking a shot, but we're outside the top 100 for the first time. And we're playing as this guy right here, Karl Towns Kirilenko. This dude literally did not miss for the first quarter. That's a dumb shot there with Draymond, but I am telling you, this guy, Kirilenko and Karl Towns, the guy greened everything with both of them. It was the weirdest thing ever. I get it, Kirilenko, because he's a hot zone from the corner, but he was greening everything with Cat. Like, I knew from early on that I was probably going to win this game. So, I guess he had a weak enough bench as well. Like, once we got back into the game, I knew we were fine. But, man, that was a poor start to the game. Because, again, he just greened everything. I think we had it back to, like, 1 point at the end of the first. But it was one of those ones, even on stream, I was saying, like, look, I'm actually playing well. This dude's greened. This guy's made every shot. Like, he did not miss a shot for the first quarter. But then we pull away. We get it to a 16-point game. And this guy, he stalls. He stalls. This absolutely, like, he has nothing better to do with his time than stall. He took all of his timeouts. He wasted every second of all of his timeouts, and then decided to take his entire pause. Getting stalled is one of those BS things. Like, I cut most of it out, but no, I got stalled completely there. Now we're playing this guy 2K Robs. This guy was in my chat during the stream, and I did make an agreement before the game that if the game got out of hand, I would quit for him. But it was very, very obvious early on. The dude wasn't bad. Like, at this stage in the game, anything could happen. But later on in the second quarter was when it really got bad. And it got to the stage where, through no fault of his own, it was just game over. So, if you guys can see right here, he got heart crushed. I got a couple of steals. His entire team had heart crusher. There is literally nothing he can do. Or say his entire team has cold ring. Like, he hit a completely lucky shot there with Tyreek Evans. A shot that he probably shouldn't have hit because of how far he was away. But still, his whole team was in cold ring. So I was going to blow by them all on defense. They all struggled to shoot the ball. And that's just kind of the thing. Heart crusher is such a devastating badge when you turn the ball over a few times and your entire team is cold. It can be the difference between... This was a tight game, and we just started pulling away. We started pulling away because his offense was just non-existent because of heart crusher. So, we're up 18 points here. Like, at this stage, like, I'm looking for rage quits. I'm talking to the dude, just being like, please quit. Please quit. You're not going to win. And it was not, like, if we played again, the dude would have had a chance, just not in this specific game. So, he went and quit the game after going down 20. So, fair play for him, to him for doing that. And then we played this dude right here, NYC Kid LT. This dude here ended up quitting the game. It was this dude had a better team than me. He got a lead, but the thing is, he was 15 years old, which meant you can't qualify. So he just said, you know what, he'll quit. So big shout out to him. That dude is quality. That dude was quality. Like, I was locking in. I had to lock in. It would have been a battle. I think I could have won the game, but it was by no means a formality. That game could have gone either way. Then we're playing Steph, Chris Mullin, Kawhi. This guy's squad, his bench is not great by the looks of things. But I got a bit of a lead here early. There was nothing really much that this guy had. He subbed off his Steph Curry really early for some reason. I don't know why. He barely used Steph. It was one of the weirdest things because, like, Steph is just objectively better than Stockton. And he just took Steph off. The guy was okay. And I just could not pull away early on in the game, which is an annoying thing. And that was just kind of summed up my day. I couldn't get a 20-point lead in the first quarter of games. There was games I was pulling away, winning by 20, 30 points. I was dominating games. I was mostly in situations where there was never any question whether I was winning or not. The problem was that we just couldn't get into those situations early enough in games to force rage quits. And this was another game. We were up double digits for pretty much the entire game. There was no situation where in this game I thought there was a chance of me losing. The problem is that like if you're in the guy that I'm playing's position and you're only down 15 points, you're never going to think you're out of a game down 15. Like, from my perspective, I had no chance. He actually quit that game. From my perspective, I had no chance of losing. But from his perspective, obviously he'd keep playing because he would assume he has a great chance. This game right here was one of the worst games I played. The fact that he had a non-existent bench definitely helped me. But we struggled. Like, again, as you guys can see, I'm up 8 points in the fourth quarter. We were down for a lot of this. I don't know how. This might have been the worst I've ever played in 2K. This guy was hitting everything. But thankfully he quit. Like, he was hitting everything with his lower rated players. So there was a game we missed out on. I think it was one before that, where it ended up being against a dude who was stalling me, which was very, very annoying. But it is what it is. At this stage, we are, with 53 minutes to go, up to 48 in the world. So people are starting to lose. So I know every win I get here, we're going up. So this team right here, Drossa 96, I think. One of the great teams. He only had a 5-man as far as I'm aware. But the big thing was that I always say, you beat me with Giannis. I literally went deny on everybody else and unballed Giannis. Like, I was literally usering. I went 13-6 up and he quit straight away. Like, no one else was touching the ball. And I was usering Glenn Robinson to guard Giannis. I was like, go one-on-one with me with Giannis Antetokounmpo. I will play man-to-man. I will stop that 1v1, and it did. He really struggled. He couldn't get a shot off at all. And then eventually I hit a couple of shots and he quit early. So we're up to 40th in the world. And then this is the worst team I've played against. And I just could not pull away enough. I just couldn't do it. And that was, again, that's kind of the problem with me in this tournament. Like, I win by 30. It's not like it's a close game. I just could not win games by enough. So we're dribbling it out because there's around 25 minutes left on the clock, which means that we're probably going to be able to get 2 more games in before the deadline. You get 1 more game, you're in a tough position, but if you can get 2 more games in by the deadline, you're sorted. So we play this dude right here, Underdog, and this is evidently a guy who has just started the game and pulled a player in a pack and pulled T-Mac in a pack, because the players he's using around T-Mac is they're just not it. So I got a really comfortable win here. Like, I'm up by near 40 points, and we just play it out. The guy didn't rage. We got 220 for that, so we're up to 30 with 1 game to go, and thankfully we had 2 misses spare. Like, I was worried we were not even going to get in that last game, which would have been very frustrating for myself. Last game, Ray for Alston, Ingram. Like, it's a team that's a little bit worse than mine. It's not much worse than mine, honestly. It's a very similar level team to mine, but dude had Derrick Rose coming off the bench. I got him hard crushed early, and once he was hard crushed, it was really, that's when we kind of got on our run. At this stage, again, I'm up by 11. It does not matter. I'm not qualifying. Doesn't matter how much I win by. I'm just there talking to people in chat. I'm not sweating at all, because this was a guy that can play a bit. Like, anyone who's got Chris Mullen can play the game a bit. It was just a game where I knew that I was probably going to win, and I also knew that it was a battle of, could I get into the top 25, and that was the best I could have done. And it's not that good. It would be nice to say I finished top 25. It really would, but it's not like that's any sort of big deal at all. We win the game here by 26 points, and yeah, we finish off in 28th place. I waited, like, obviously time remaining, I waited like 10 minutes later. We still finished 28th place. So yeah, that is not too bad. Like, we're still 800 points off getting top 10, which is a bit disappointing. 28 is fine, especially when, like, I'm looking at top 10 and I'm seeing Legacy top 10 and number 6. Legacy is European. I'm seeing Pepanex 544, again a Spanish player. Legacy is German. Legacy, we had a battle back in 2K20. He beat me by, I think it was 6 points. I've never played against Pepanex, but I'm not necessarily disappointed that I finished 28, because I'm happy with that. I'm disappointed that I wasn't able to break into that top 10, because I think if I was able to start games quicker, I might have been able to break into it, but sure, look, it is what it is. Congrats to Flash, congrats to Onus2310, who both of those guys qualified last year. Congrats to Pepanex544 from Spain. Congrats to Panda Wings, no idea who he is, but congrats to him. I'm not sure if that is exactly how it ended, or if they were the top 4s. Also, congrats to anyone finished top 10. It is still an incredible achievement. I'd say there's at least 5,000-6,000, potentially upwards of 10,000 people that enter this tournament. So, big congrats. As well as that, huge shout out to German Legacy finishing in 6th place, showing that European guys can compete. So anyway, yeah, that is pretty much it. That's the video. 28th in the world, not too bad. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.